Hi friends, I am Kori. I am a photographer and I am the creator of Stories with Kori. And whether you have been hanging out with us for a long time or today is your first story ever, we are so grateful that you are here. We have a heart to share the stories of people finding grit and strength, working hard to take those next steps forward. We know that life can be hard sometimes, but we believe that it is always better when we take those next steps forward together. And so we invite you to hang out with us today, hear today's story, and we hope that you find encouragement to keep moving forward. Hey guys, I am Kori with Kori and Jared Photography, also the creator of Stories with Kori. And today I have a super fun story to share with you. It is the story of Alexus with Austin's Coffee Crafters. They have an incredibly cute coffee shop here in Ripon. How long have you guys been open?
So we've been open for about a month and a half now.
No way.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been longer than that because I have spent so much time in your cute little shop. But one of the things that you will notice about their shop is your incredible design, and everything is so stinking cute and inviting. And then it's also a pretty delicious cup of coffee and really yummy goodness in terms of everything. All of the other whoopies and scones and everything. So
I'm glad you like it.
We do. We've got dates. I feel like I've also kind of moved in and try and work a little bit from the coffee shop. Sometimes when you're working from home all the time, it's nice to have people around.
Yeah.
So we like it.
I'm glad you like it.
Yeah. Friend, tell me a little bit about your story. I feel like your story is an incredible one. It is kind of got some hard stuff to it, but what you have come into is pretty incredible. So maybe share the story of Austin's Coffee Roasters and
Yeah, so Austin's, it kind of grew out of a need for finding things that I enjoy. My brother passed when he was 15 in a really bad accident that we weren't expecting. And so during that kind of grieving process and kind of sitting with my feelings and things like that, I kind of reevaluated the purpose of life. I think life isn't guaranteed. Right. And so I wanted to do things that I was passionate about, which was creativity. Yeah. And I kind of wanted to marry that with treating people with love and respect. And I think a coffee shop kind of has this community hub feel, and it just kind of paired well with creating something, while also creating a space that people can enjoy and live life in. So yeah.
Okay, now the name Austin's Coffee Roasters is kind of in honor of your brother, right?
So it's Austin's Coffee Crafters. Yes.
And your brother his name was Austin. Right?
Yeah, so his name was Austin, so it was inspired by him. It's one of those things. Sometimes when somebody passes, you always think about the day they passed rather than just kind of the time you spent with him in those enjoying moments. So I think naming the coffee shop Austin's kind of had that nice tie of always remembering him, but not because of how he passed, but because of those moments we enjoyed. And he loved his friends, and he was very outgoing, and so I think that fit well with coffee shops. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. A good place to be able to gather your people together.
Yeah.
And fun. Now, one of the things that we were talking about as we talked about Austin's Coffee Crafters, right? Like sometimes we even talk about like crafting a cup of coffee, but I just learned that it's not about crafting a cup of coffee. What are you crafting inside your space?
Yes. So being a creative, I kind of think out there, so the idea with the crafters part in Austin's Coffee Crafters was this idea of actually crafting in the space. So being a creative, I wanted other creatives to enjoy the space and be able to go in there with watercolor and not feel like awkward and like, oh, hey, I'm in here, watercoloring. Like that's what the space was created for.
Yeah.
So that's actually what the crafters means. Yeah. It's actually not about the coffee. It's actually about coffee and creating things, whether it's watercolor or some type of art kind of thing. So yeah.
We talked a little bit about like like this, I don't want to say little girl, but like, the early version of your dream versus like the reality of your dream.
Yeah.
And I was saying, like, when I was dreaming about photography, like my first start I thought I was going to open up like a scrapbooking store, right? Like I was going to commit my life to selling paper and stickers. And like the reality is that I love the storytelling part of things. I love people, but maybe you can't quite feed your children off of selling stickers. And so that same idea of, creating crafting kits and creating, a place for people to do that, like the coffee shop is the reality and the incredible part of that dream.
Yeah. Yes.
I really loved some of the things that you talked about when you talk about a life well lived. What does it mean to you? What does that look like for you?
Yeah, I think it's kind of marrying the idea of doing things you love while also being nice to people.
Yeah.
So the thing I love is I just love creating things. I love creating, I love creating things in my home. I love just the idea of the process of creating. And so that's the part I love. And then just being nice to people is something that I think is very important.
Yeah.
If you want to live a life well lived, you need to make sure that you're giving other people the tools to have a life well lived. And it's as simple as appreciating them for their quirks and personalities and things like that. So, so that's kind of also... I know I always bring up that coffee shop, but that kind of ties in. Like I was luckily able to find a career in doing what I love while also being nice to people. And my way of being nice to people is creating a space where they feel welcomed and loved and and just in a space that they can enjoy on a day-to-day basis. So
some of us a couple of times a day. Like I think there was one day, I don't even really want to admit this, but I'm totally going to go there. I think I literally went to your shop 3 times. Like I think I started out with coffee like by myself. Like I think I worked and then I came back and had coffee with like friends. And then there's this super awkward time in Ripon between 2:00 if you've got kiddos who are younger and then the 2:50 pickups. And it's like, what do you do for 50 minutes? And so sometimes we'll come and do homework at the coffee shop. And so...
we love that. We love that. That is what it's there for.
Oh my goodness. Well, friend, maybe speak to somebody who is going through a little bit of a hard time, whether it is grief or what would you say to encourage somebody who is just in a hard season?
Yeah. I think that's what life is. It's hard seasons. We don't know. Maybe some people have more of those bad days than others. But I think it's important to sit with it and really understand what you're going through. For me, that grieving process was sitting with it, really understanding how I'm feeling, and not putting up a wall and just it's a time and you have to go through it. And just kind of find a way to understand what you're feeling during that season. So, and make something out of it. And I made the coffee shop out of it. So, yeah.
There are some incredibly beautiful projects that can kind of come out of those hard things. And I think you and I had kind of connected in your shop one day about like even like these stories, right? Like these stories came out of this season where I was broken, literally physically broken and bruised, and had some space to kind of think through that. And with the heart to share our story, like came about the desire to share, other people's stories as well. And so, but I love that you kind of took a really hard season and this memory of your brother and invested in our community, in this little community of Ripon, and have offered a really cool space for people to hang out.
Yeah, well, it's my pleasure.
We love it. So we didn't talk about this, but we're going to go there. Before you were a coffee shop owner, you were a designer. So you also like love designing pretty things and pulling elements together.
Yes. So before I opened up the coffee shop, I worked for a couple agencies, primarily in Modesto.
Yeah.
And then I started freelancing after I just kind of wanted to do a lot of things that were my preferred style and things like that. So that's kind of where my creative roots kind of started. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I enjoy it every time. Like every time I feel like there's like a new element that you like notice. Maybe you just add things all the time. Like I feel like maybe one day I went in and there's like new art in the bathroom and there's like all sorts of fun stuff all over the place.
I'm not sure, like from a business perspective, it's not the best thing, you know, because I'm always like, oh wow, I just found this like awesome way of, you know, creating this drink. Like, hey, we should change everything up. And we can't do that. So it's definitely one of those things. The shop will always be changing. There will always be new photos and creepy portraits in there.
I did see Elvis. Is Elvis new?
Yeah, Elvis has been there for a while.
Okay.
If there's like a creepy portrait in there, it was definitely intentional. So yeah, you'll just have to like look out for.
Have to go in and look for the creepy portraits.
Yeah, you'll have to look in there. One project I'm really excited about, and portraitures takes a long time to find like antiques and paintings of and stuff like that, is actually in one of the bathrooms. I know this is really random, but in one of the bathrooms, I'm actually working on creating all portraitures in there. Okay. So it's like when you're like in the restroom, you're like, wow, there's a bunch of portraits in here staring at me.
I am not going to hold you to this, and I'm totally going to go there, and you have no clue what I'm about to say, but I do have this picture that my father-in-law, it's a self-portrait that my father-in-law drew of himself.
Yeah.
Like in high school, like a part of his art class, and we've held on to it. It's really large. Maybe we can gift it to you.
That would be wonderful.
Let me see if I can find it out. Okay. That's awesome. I love it.
I love it.
And I'm also going to have my mother-in-law show my father-in-law this story, because it's kind of a thing. It's really cool. I mean, it's kind of this really cool piece of art. And so my kids said we can't get rid of it, and so now we have it. But, yeah.
That's awesome.
I like it. Friend, what is one thing that you would love to encourage? If somebody walks away from hearing your story today, what is one thing that you would love them to know?
Just to do what you love and be nice to people.
It's as simple as that.
Just as simple as
do
that.
what you love and be nice to people.
Exactly.
Hey guys, I am so thankful that you took some time to listen to Alexuss' story today, Alexus's story today. It is one that is incredible, just sharing with the world some beautiful art in a cup of coffee, as well as in her space. I love that she has worked hard to kind of gather our community around, and we would love to kind of share that with you. So she is actually going to be doing a giveaway with a gift certificate for their sweet coffee shop, and we will have all the details for you as we share this story as well. So thank you so much for tuning in today. We hope you are encouraged to kind of take your grief and to work through it and use that space and create some beautiful things out of that. So thank you so much for being here with us.
Yes, it was my pleasure.
Absolutely. Thanks for tuning in today, guys. We hope you have a wonderful day.